Alright, welcome back, guys. I'm Al, as a lot of you know. I've been on several investigations. You've probably seen me a handful of times in some of these videos. I'm here with you today to talk a little bit about Phoenix Lights. I was living outside of Phoenix back when I was a kid, and I was in Phoenix at the time of the Phoenix Lights. All I remember was, my dad was grilling, and he said, "Hey, come look at this," and walked outside, and sure enough, you could just see this big, kind of triangular shaped light pattern that was just sitting there. And that's what I think I remember the most about the Phoenix Lights thing was it wasn't something that just zoomed across and was easily misidentifiable as, maybe a ultralight or something like that. Because there were a lot of aircraft shows and a lot of air shows in the area because a lot of it was open desert at the time. And so it was very peculiar just to see the whole configuration of lights just kind of linger there and sit there for what felt like forever. It felt like it just sat there for almost the entire night. It obviously didn't, but that's kind of how it felt in the moment, just looking at it, just sitting there. And I don't know if many of you have seen the film Independence Day, but how the spaceship was real slow rolling kind of over everything. That was almost the way that whatever was attached to the Phoenix Lights or whatever comprised the Phoenix Lights, that's almost the way it acted. It was just a real slow rolling thing. Almost from the ground level was almost inconceivable that it was even moving. That's always something that stuck out to me was just how long it hung around. And most UFO sightings are a quick flash and they're gone. And that was definitely one that will always stay with me just as an odd experience to have gone through. This wasn't really my first encounter with the paranormal, but I would say it was my first memorable UFO encounter. Since then, I've always kind of looked at things, lights and things like that. They kind of move through the sky in an odd fashion. It always makes me wonder, what could it be? And the Phoenix Lights, I was so young that it made such a big impression on me that that's something that'll stay with me forever. And I always look at things in the sky a little bit differently now ever since that experience. So think of like the foothills. We were a little bit further down in the desert kind of bottom area versus being more towards the foothills of Arizona. So in the footage you can see, whatever the UFO is kind of lingering over the top of these mountains, just kind of coming over the crest of them there. And that was earlier on than when I had seen them myself. We were a little bit further down in the desert, the open desert area, versus being right up in the foothills. So it was darker when I personally got to see the lights. So you couldn't see any shapes or anything. You could just see the rough shape that the actual lights themselves were making. I wish I would have got to see them in the day. Maybe it would have offered some kind of answer, explanation. And I'm sure we've all heard numerous theories about what the Phoenix Lights were. It could have been military aircraft or aliens or flares from the ground. And there's been, so many theories over the years, but none of them have been really definitive from my point of view that, yes, that's what it was. I do think personally that there was a lot of these theories were, there to kind of offer some kind of cover-up closure story to the whole event. Is that necessarily true? I have no idea, and I probably never will, but it is kind of always one of those things that's kind of fun to think about. Was it just flares from the ground level, and it just kind of, tricked all these people in this area, and it's still something that's talked about today? Or was it something from another planet that, maybe the government knew about and we weren't ready for, so they wrote it off as flares? Or maybe it was the government themselves testing out some new stealth technology, and something could have happened and the stealth didn't work properly that particular test flight. We'll probably never know, but it was a really exhilarating experience, which was fantastic. If you would like to hear more about our personal experiences, go ahead and click over here. For more Culz content, go ahead and click over here, and we'll see you next time.